the city.
I'm looking for a great treasure.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
From the moment the idea of In the Lost Land began gaining attention, it sparked curiosity among fans who love stories built on mystery, danger, and journeys into unknown worlds where survival depends not only on strength but also on trust and instinct. The concept revolves around a vast, untouched land hidden beyond the maps, a place where ancient creatures roam freely, forgotten civilizations breathe beneath the soil, and the laws of nature bend in ways no one can understand. This world carries a sense of wonder mixed with threat, and each frame of the story feels like stepping into a realm where humanity has no power. The tone of the film is intense and emotional, blending adventure with psychological fear as characters are pushed beyond their limits. What excites people most is how the story frames this lost land as more than just a location. It becomes a living force with its own will, history, and hunger. The heart of the story centers around a woman who seeks answers to questions larger than her own life. She embarks on a dangerous journey driven by desire, ambition, and the need to find something that the rest of the world believes doesn't exist. As she enters the lost land, she quickly realizes that the place reacts to human presence. The wind changes tone, the ground trembles, and shadows follow even when nothing visible is behind her. The world around her is both beautiful and terrifying, filled with towering cliffs wrapped in mist, glowing rivers running through ancient forests, and enormous creatures whose eyes reflect centuries of silence. Her journey is not just physical, it becomes a test of soul and identity as the land forces her to confront emotions she has buried for years. As the story deepens, she meets a warrior whose past is filled with scars and secrets he refuses to speak about. He understands the lost land in ways she doesn't, guiding her through dangers she could never survive on her own. Their partnership begins with distrust but slowly transforms into a bond forged by mutual struggle. The trailer-style moments created within the story show them walking through enormous ruins covered in strange symbols, crossing bridges made of roots that move like living veins, and watching mountains shift shapes as if reacting to their presence. Every moment builds the idea that this land is alive, watching, judging, and testing anyone who dares enter its territory. One of the most striking elements is how the story uses the environment as a character. The land shifts between breathtaking beauty and horrifying danger. Peaceful valleys turn into violent storms within seconds, and gentle creatures suddenly reveal monstrous forms when threatened. The lost land has its own rhythm, its own breathing, and its own voice hidden in the wind. The characters sense that nothing here is coincidence. Every step they take feels like part of a greater path determined long before they arrived. This mystical atmosphere gives the movie a unique identity, making viewers question whether the characters are exploring the land or being guided by it. Throughout the journey, the characters uncover fragments of a forgotten past-old carving showing battles between creatures and humans, crumbling temples swallowed by vines, and giant skeletons of beasts that once ruled the land. These clues show that the lost land was once home to a civilization that vanished without explanation. The mystery deepens as they realize that the disappearance of that ancient people might be connected to the reasons the woman came searching. In the first place, the film's tension grows heavier with each revelation, pushing the characters closer to truths that are as dangerous as the land itself. What makes the story emotionally powerful is how the lost land exposes the characters' inner battles. The woman is forced to confront the price of her ambition and the consequences of choices she made long before entering the land. The warrior faces memories he had buried, memories of loss, betrayal, and sacrifice. Their personal conflicts blend with the physical danger around them, creating a layered narrative where survival depends on more than weapons and strength. It depends on the ability to face one's truth. The land seems to respond to their emotions, growing calm when they show unity and violent when doubt creeps between them. One of the most intense scenes features The characters standing at the edge of a massive canyon where the ground pulses like a beating heart. Strange lights rise from the depths, forming shapes that resemble spirits of the ancient civilization. The moment feels mystical and haunting, hinting that the lost land is not merely a place but a prison for memories that refuse to fade. The characters feel drawn toward those lights, sensing that the answers they seek lie within the heart of the canyon. But the deeper they go, the more the land reveals its true nature, not as a forgotten world but as a guardian protecting something powerful and dangerous. As the journey continues, unexpected creatures appear, some majestic, others terrifying. Giant serpent-like beings swim through rivers of glowing water. Bird-like creatures with crystal feathers soar across the sky, and shadow beasts roam the forest, their movements silent and predatory. Each encounter shows that the lost land operates by rules no human can predict. The characters quickly realize that brute strength means nothing here. Survival requires understanding the balance of the land, respecting its creatures, and learning its language, one written not in words but in instinct. The emotional tension heightens when the woman discovers that the very reason she entered the land is not what she believed. Fragments of truth reveal that she was manipulated by forces outside the land, and that her arrival might awaken something the ancient civilization tried to seal away forever. This twist changes the entire meaning of the journey. The warrior warns her that some truths are meant to stay buried, but she refuses to turn back, believing that the answers she seeks will change her destiny. The land reacts violently to her determination, shaking, shifting, and unleashing storms unlike anything seen before. One of the most powerful scenes shows the characters trapped inside a cavern, where the walls display moving images from the past battles, sacrifices, rituals, and the final moments of the ancient people. They watch as the civilization seals away a dark force born from their own arrogance, a force that can reshape the world if awakened. The woman realizes that her journey is tied to this sealed power, and she must decide whether to free it or destroy the last link to a truth the world has forgotten. This moment of choice becomes the emotional core of the film, combining tension, sacrifice, and destiny. As the story moves toward its climax, the lost land begins collapsing around them. Trees twist violently, mountains crumble, rivers turn red. With glowing energy, and creatures scream as if the land itself is in pain. The characters run through storms of lightning and ash, fighting to reach the heart of the land where the final decision must be made. The emotional bond between the woman and the warrior becomes their last source of strength, showing how unity can survive even in the darkest moments. Their struggle feels raw, human, and powerful, turning the final battle into one of emotion. Rather than simple action, the ending carries a mix of heartbreak, beauty, and mystery. What happens inside the heart of the land remains partly hidden, leaving the viewers with questions that linger long after the story is over. The final scenes show the land slowly calming, creatures returning to their habitats, and the skies clearing, but something has changed, something subtle yet powerful. A single symbol glows deep within the earth, hinting that the lost land's story is far from over. Whether the woman succeeds or sacrifices herself is left open enough to create anticipation for a possible continuation, giving the film an air of legend rather than finality. This script works because it blends adventure, fantasy, emotion, and deep world building into one cohesive experience. It reminds viewers why stories of exploration remain timeless, the thrill of the unknown, the danger of ancient secrets, and the human desire to uncover truths hidden by time. The lost land becomes a metaphor for every struggle, every journey, and every decision that shapes a person's future. It is a world that demands respect, a world that mirrors the characters' inner fears and hopes, and a world that leaves a lasting mark on anyone who dares enter it.